Blacksad Under the Skin is a detective noir game based on the comics. You might think a noir scenario with human-looking animals. Does that even work? Well, so far from the comics I can tell you it definitely does. The comic is simply cool and the art is amazing. But what about the video game? My review is split into 3 categories: story, gameplay and final verdict. All content you see in my review is from my stream. So let's begin. New York. Somewhere in around the 50s, you play as John Blacksad, a cat detective for hire who struggles with his detective agency being blank. Blacksad accepts a job from the new client, Sonia Dunn. Her father, Joe Dunn, was found dead in his own boxing gym, suicide, and his protege, the rising boxing star Bobby Yale, is missing. Your job is to find Bobby Yale, but as soon as you enter the crime scene, you will find out that something is strange and doesn't add up. So everything is pointed out that this is actually a murder case. John Blacksad has some allies like the brown German shepherd Smirnov, the police chief who gives you information so you can progress with your investigation, or Weekly, the weasel journalist. Both are actually really helpful, but it's up to you to decide if you really trust them or not. During your investigations, you will make various decisions, which will affect the story. Now, I must say the decisions are somewhat notable, but not much of a big deal. Still, it's really interesting. How are you going to play? Are you going to be corrupt and take bribe money, hide the truth just to pass uncomfortable situations? Or are you going to be a truthful, honest cat, even if that means you will get beaten up for that? The game plays like your typical adventure game. In small area sections, you investigate a scene for clues. Collecting clues will lead to deductions, which leads to more clues and a small step solving the case. For a detective, interrogation is also essential to discover the truth. You will find many dialogues with many interesting characters. The dialogues are time restricted for the most part though. Most of the people will of course not tell you everything, but for that you can activate your cat sense. It will make you observe the person you're talking with and also your surroundings, which unlocks new dialogue options. The game has also some QTE sections, where you have to react quickly to solve the situation. Taking too much time or making the false move will lead to death, and you have to repeat the QTE again. The game has some collectibles, stickers. Now I must say that these actually are nice. It will show you some sports events, but of course with animal athletes. So in total it's a mix between Telltale's Batman and the Sherlock Holmes franchise. In theory it sounds actually pretty good, but unfortunately the game is technically a complete mess. I am not exaggerating here. It will freeze for like 5 seconds or so every time you change the scene in the level. Screen will change to black and white or black out completely, and it will crash on many occasions. And on top of that, it will test constantly your patience with long loading screens and this utterly slow walking animation of John. Also, the sound in this game is all over the place. Missing sound effects, missing pieces of synchronization in the middle of the dialogue, and the background music will play for like 4 to 5 minutes, take a break, let you with silence for 4 to 5 minutes, and then come back. Sure, they released a day 1 patch, but the only noticeable thing is the frame rate. The game still plays like in the early alpha state. All of the issues I mentioned will take out the nice noir vibes this game is trying to spread and take out the tension from the story. Every time a nice interesting conversation happened, I had to restart the game in the middle of the sequence. I understand that games with low budget will not come with breathtaking graphics, and sometimes the graphics will be sadly on PlayStation 3 standards. And even with that I am okay as long as the game runs smoothly, but this game looks bad and halfway okay at its best. The main protagonist and couple of other important characters like the police chief Smirnov or the gangster boss O'Leary looks kinda good, but the other characters doesn't. Even collecting stickers will force this game into his knees. You will find every 5 seconds one, and it will take you so much time to put it in your pocket due to the awful performance of this game. It's not worth it. As you see, every 10 seconds you find a sticker, man. Are you kidding me? Also, sometimes if you collect stickers, it will leave with some glitch in the middle of the screen. Nice sticker. with a hologram. Nice. Okay. Holy shit, this does not go away. Oh no! The game might be easy overall in terms of finding clues and progressing through the story, but it's so hard to play. It is a nightmare and no fun at all. The game has only one section I really enjoyed, the poker game. It was a fun section, and also it showed me what this game could have been. After torturing myself for 11 hours, I finally saw the credits. Effectively, I would say I played round about 7 to maximum 8 hours, and the rest of the time I was constantly restarting my console, restarting the game, going back into the menu to do a sound test, in the option menu to get the sound of the game back and continue the game. Many times I started at my freeze detective and try to figure out what the hell is actually going on with this game. I can't really tell about the PC version, but the PlayStation 4 version is a disaster. It was my worst single player experience this year, definitely. Blacksad could be easily a 5 or a 6 out of 10. You know, your typical chill game with nice storytelling, but it's almost unplayable. So my final verdict is a 3 out of 10. This game should have been called Sad instead of Blacksad. The comic Blacksad has an amazing art, which this game simply cannot deliver. In this game, we are solving a murder case, but the real crime is this game itself. I do not understand how any company can release a game in this state in 2019. Anyway, I'm done with this game. Mucha thank you for watching my review, and see you next time.
Trauma? Sherry speaking.
You're not holding the telephone on your ear, man.
Dr. Gregory Talbot,
On your ear.
Yes, 1 minute.